Hello, everyone. This is Professor Francis, and here we have another question requested for the HESI by one of our applicants. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay. So the question states, this is a conversion question, and it says Linda is limiting her sugar intake, right? The limit is under 50,000 milligrams. So it's under 50,000 milligrams. Okay. So they give us a table, right? A listing actually. It says below are the sugar contents from each of her meals. And we see we have breakfast was 13 grams, lunch is 1 ounce, dinner is 1 ounce, and dessert is nine, 9 grams. I think that's supposed to be dessert. This is dessert. Dessert meaning the sweet part of your um, right, that's with two S's. Okay, so we have to convert 13 grams, we have to convert 1 ounce, and we have to convert nine grams all into milligrams, right? So right below it, you see we've written in the conversion factor for each of those units. So to go from grams, we have to go from grams to milligrams. So 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. Over here, we have to go from for lunch and dinner, we have to go from 1 ounce to milligrams. So here you have the conversion factor for that. 1 ounce equals 137,000 milligrams. And then again, we have to go from grams to milligrams, which 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. So we're going to go ahead and we can convert each of these to milligrams. And then we're going to add them up to see exactly how many milligrams of sugar Linda's taking. So let's start. We'll start off with the breakfast on the left first, right? We have to remember we cannot use it in the equivalence form. This conversion factor, we have to put it in a fractional form. So we have two options. We can put 1 gram over 1,000 milligrams, or we can do 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram, right? So how do we know which one to pick? We look at what they're asking us for, right? They wanted everything in milligrams, right? So we know we want to end up with milligrams. So whatever we want to end up with goes on top. So this one has milligrams on top, and this is the one we pick, right? Now all we have to do is multiply this by what's given, the 13 grams. Let's go ahead and do that. We have 13 grams times our conversion factor in fractional format, 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram, right? Remember, whenever we do arithmetic with fractions, we have to make sure all numbers are in fractional form. So we're going to put a 1 underneath the 13 to take care of that. And now we're going to simplify and multiply across. So the units are great, right? Whenever we see a matching pair of units in the top, bottom, like here, we have grams in the top and grams in the bottom. They always cancel out, right? So let's cancel these out to 1. And now we just multiply straight across and we get 13 times 1,000 milligrams. So it's 13,000 milligrams over um, 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And of course, we know anything over 1 is just itself. So for breakfast, it comes out to be 13,000 milligrams, right? Let's write that right here. So breakfast is 13,000 milligrams. Remember, we have to do a sum total. So as we do each one, we're going to be adding them. So this is going to be added to what we get, the milligrams we get from the 1 ounce. Okay, so now again, we have to write a conversion factor. Uh, we want to end up with milligrams, so we know the milligram goes on top. So our conversion factor is going to be 137 milligrams over 1 ounce, right? I'm going to go ahead and multiply that out. So 1 ounce times this conversion factor in fractional form. Remember, we have to write all the numbers in fractional format. So we put a 1 underneath the 1 ounce. And we look and we see that we have matching units in the top and bottom, which always cancel out. Units are great. They cancel like numbers. So we can go ahead and cancel out this ounce, cancels out with that ounce. On the bottom, we have 1. On the top, we have 1 time. On the bottom, we have 1 times 1 is 1. On the top, we have 1 times 1,300. I'm sorry, 137,000. It's just going to be 137,000 milligrams. Anything divided by itself is itself. So this is the answer for this one is going to be 137,000 milligrams. All right. So we have that twice here, right? So you have 1 ounce for lunch and 1 ounce for dinner. So we're going to go ahead and add that twice. So this is for the lunch, 137,000 milligrams plus the one for dinner, 137,000 milligrams. Now we have one more we have to convert, and that's the desert. I mean the dessert. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. We already know we want to end up with milligrams, so that's going to be on top. So our conversion factor is going to be when we write it out in fractional form, it's going to be the milligrams on top and the grams on the bottom. And we multiply that by what's given, which is 9 grams. We know that this is a fractional expression, so we have to make sure all the numbers are written in its fraction format. So we put a 1 underneath the 9. And now we follow rules for multiplication of fractions, right? There's supposed to be a gram down here. And we see that, again, we have the grams and the matching units in the top and bottom. So this gram here cancels out with that gram in the bottom, right? So 1, 1, and now we go ahead and multiply straight across. So 9 times 1,000 milligrams is going to give us 9,000 milligrams. And 1 times 1 gives us 1. Anything over 1 is itself, so this is simply going to be 9,000 milligrams. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add that one. 9,000 milligrams. Okay, now we need to get a sum total. So we're going to add 13 milligrams for breakfast, right? 137,000 milligrams for lunch, 137,000 milligrams for dinner, and 9,000 milligrams for dessert, right? And that comes out to 297,000 milligrams. Right now, her limit was 50,000 milligrams. So we definitely went over the limit, right? So now we can go ahead and answer the question. Instead, it states Linda is blank her limit by, so she's over, the answer would be over her limit. She's definitely over limit by how much? How do we figure out how much? Well, we take the total amount of milligrams that we have, 297,000 milligrams, and we subtract our limit of 50,000 from that. So minus 50,000, and this will tell us how much over 50,000 she is. So that comes out to 247,000. She is over her sugar intake by 247,000 milligrams. So we're going to go ahead and write that number in here. By 247,000 milligrams. And that would be our answer. Okay. So I hope this helped. Okay. If you have any further questions about this type of problem, please feel free to drop it at the website in the contact us box. Okay. But I hope this helped. And if it does, please remember to like and subscribe to this video. And I will see you on the next question.